Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for week 26. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report that has some extra details, extra information, and also extra profit this particular week here. We are now in the beginning of July. That also means that obviously we're going to have a look at last week's results. Plus, we're also going to take a full look at the entire month. That will give you a very good idea exactly of what is going on with the individual EAs and platforms that we are invested in. So you can have a closer look to see if this is anything for you. One of the videos that we actually made this particular week is about the Lucky Trader. This is a new EA. This is actually for free right now. Free to do testing until about the 20th of July. Might be extended, might not. But so far the results are pretty astonishing. We are showing in this particular video here some of the details of that particular EA, and we're going to go through in a lot more detail later in this particular video. Also, Alex from Expert Forex also sent out a video this week, and this is also about the Lucky Trader. Again, it looks very, very good at the moment. And we're going to produce you some of the results for this particular month. Last but not least, we also have our RSI and Wave Liberator running in here, and they both have PAMM accounts, and we are basically showing you here that we just had the monthly profit of June just increased up to $24,000, and so things are going really, really well. I'm going to show you those numbers and hopefully also where we're going to go in the future. So strap yourself in and let's get started, because this is going to be quite a lot of numbers we're going to throw at you here today. In recent weeks, we have gotten a lot of questions regarding Yieldnodes and exactly how to get your NFT. It looks like now, after the last couple of weeks news report, where we are showing exactly how these things are actually happening, where you can find the NFT within your wallet or on the Yieldnodes platform itself. Things have calmed down. There's not really many more questions, so we are very, very happy with that. But apart from this, we don't really have any particular news coming for Yieldnodes this week. So we're going to jump straight over to the SAP coin that basically still defines Yieldnodes in some way, shape, and form. Unfortunately, it doesn't look so good. This at the red circle is where we left it last week. And again, this is 0.70 and then 5. And this particular week here, again, things have gone in the wrong way and lost just a bit more on the value overall. So not a very good week once again for the SAP coin overall. If we have a closer look at the staking that we do, also here, this has also been quite slow. This little yellow marker that we have here is for the entire month. We haven't gotten anything from the past week at all. There's nothing since the 22nd of June. And we have explained how this happens from time to time before. Unfortunately, those three are the only ones in here. But still, we are getting 3.5%, or we actually managed to get 840 SAP on this particular staking here. So it is worth it instead of just sitting and doing nothing with the coins overall. Now, the same pattern is also true here for the PNY. For that particular week in here, nothing has come in for the entire week. But we can see there's quite a few, about 9 in here of entries. Last one was on the 20th of June. And that actually also produces 4.8% overall. So a very strong month with 931 PNY. And you can see also on the graph that even though January was the best one, it looks like June did just as well as April. So that is a good positive trend, at least for the currency pair right now. But again, it is very hard to see the overall trend, if it's going up or down. It seems to be very much from moment to moment. Moment to moment is not really what we have for Bitcoin versus USDT this week. It has been trading pretty much sideways. So after it lost a bit of its value, coming from 70,000 last week here, it's been dropping down. And at last week, it traded at about 62,500. Since then, pretty much sideways trading all the way through the week. And only here in the past day, Looks like price is now climbing up again, and at the time that we're shooting this particular video here, we ended up with $63,381. So it's going in the right direction again for the people that are holding on to Bitcoin. Now, Trillant news. Again, we don't have much of a Trillant news in here. What we have is a bit of a just short email, damage to reputation, again in here from the management about spreading false information. Well, we don't see much information at all, actually, and the little we see, there's not much to be had overall, but they are saying, well, if there's something there, please, again, report it to the support part. We are more waiting for some real business news on how we are moving forward, and also how the audit is going to go overall. So in the meantime, let's have a look at the Tree coin, and that one has also either come into some kind of trouble or at least some kind of intermediate stop. We can see last week it was at 0001141. Since then it was trading sideways and then quickly losing out. And it's not like all of a sudden there is no data. There is some data, as you can see, but it's a pretty much flat line all the way through. And it has been that for quite a few days. And the last it traded was 0.000 and then 1040. So obviously we're going to have a closer look at that just to see why that was, if there was a issue with the platform. But when you have a look at the order book in here, you will actually see there's a big gap at the moment. This is coinstore.com. And in here, these are the people that are willing to sell. They are willing to sell at a price of, again, 0.0001100. And this is the quantity and this is the volume they have, and then it goes up here. On the other side, these are the guys that are willing to buy at, again, 0.000 and then 1040 in here, and then it goes down further here. So at the moment there's a big gap in here. Nobody wants to sell, nobody wants to buy, and that's the reason why the graph looks like that. Now we have some movement, at least on the money tree for week 26 in here. After the low risk one took a bit of a hit now a couple of weeks ago, we have $44 or 1.3% on that one. Remember, the low risk one again here is the one with all the currency pairs, where the medium one that did $73 or 1.1% this particular week here is the one where we have taken out some of the risk factors with the currency pairs that we seem not doing so well overall. And the same thing with the high risk one, $79 or 1.8%. Both of these have limited currency pairs in here. That's why they are normally doing better. They are at a better risk. The low risk one was the original settings from the developers themselves. Now we're also going to have a closer look here at June. So again, low risk one, as we said, it lost a bit of money this particular month here again with some of the difficult currency pairs. So $2,416 was lost on the account, or minus 41.6%, so quite a bit. Medium risk one did a lot better, 258 or 5.2%. And then the high risk one, funny enough, was actually a bit lower than the medium one with $247 or 5.8% overall. Now you can find a lot more details on this for the normal settings. This is the one that developers actually set up also with the currency pairs, and the medium risk and high risk ones are the ones that we have actually picked ourselves and set it up, and they look like they're doing a lot better. As you can see on the graph here, started off with a $5,000 account. It went very well in the beginning. We had to adjust it a few times and see what happens, since we have now found the smooth way of going forward here with this particular EA. Total returns 31.9%. And now monthly returns is about 2.1, but obviously it's calculating also the losses in here overall, but it's going in a very good direction now. And history, we have plenty of that, 431 days. So things are looking good for the Money Tree. Medium risk one, if we have a look, the numbers are the same up here. And the last week's results was $73 or 29 cents. Previous week was 42, 72, and 70. So we are in a pretty good spot at the moment. So going all the way back through mid-May, the 70s is a good range for the medium risk one. If we have a look also for the entire month for that particular one, You can see 258 is what we made, which is a lot better than for the month of May, but April was really, really good. So again, somewhere in the average area, I guess we can call the results for the month of June. We also have, again, information regarding the profit retriever. We said we already approved it, we liked it, but we are moving on. There is 2 more signals that has basically closed down with the last profit for this particular week here and will not be restarted again. So we'll continue to obviously keep the rest alive until the next, all the trades will be closed, and then we'll put the profit retriever aside. We want to focus on all the new EAs instead, because this is now 2nd generation that we are looking into. We're also looking into the Trade Explorer, and we really like that one, even though this particular week was a very slow one. The 22 pair only made $152 or 1.6%, and also the 10 pair one, also very low, $130 or 1.3%. So we are getting used to the high numbers, so sometimes we get disappointed over those results, which we really shouldn't. But when we have a look at the month of June again in here, we can see that the 22 pair, after we have made some adjustments, we made a small lot adjustment because the profit was simply too low at the time. 22 pairs did $972 or 9.7% for the whole month of June here. So that's good. That's the level we wanted the 22 pair to be at. So let's see what next month will bring. 10 pair one is now a bit lower, which is a bit funny because it shouldn't have been, but you'll see that in a second. $889 or 8.9% for the month of June. So having a look at the individual numbers, 22 pair one here, we only did 155, as you can see down here in yellow. Compare that to the previous week of 355, 210, 241, and then we had 125. So end of May was also a bad one. So there is a bit of fluctuation here after some really good results. If we also have a look at the 22 pair for the monthly results, we can see that now things are moving a lot better after our little adjustment. Since January, we had 500, 505, 506, 494, and then 757, 578. And now with the adjustment, we are in a good place here with $972. And that is pretty much where we want to be on a monthly scale. 10 pair one, also here on the weekly profits, again, very low, 130. The previous weeks was 207, 222, 320, 206. And we have to go all the way back also here to the mid-May in order to find lower profits, just to put that in perspective. Then having a look at the month for the 10 pair one, you can see that it's quite low, and with 889, we have to go all the way back to February here to find something similar. That was just slightly lower with 874. But the other month, we are always in the thousands, which means that we should also be getting more than 10% on that particular one every single month. So overall, still very good. And obviously with the copy link service, you can always tweak the results if you think the profit is too low. Now for the Wave Liberator for week 26, the top 5 EAs actually did quite well. You can see the New Zealand USD with $74 or 7.4%. Very good for just the weekly profits. Euro USD, $47 or 4.7%. And then US Swiss francs, $44, 4.4%. Euro CAD, $36 or 3.6%. And then US Japanese, also doing quite well, $32 or 3.2%. Overall, if you would have traded those top 5 EAs for the past week, you would have made $233 or 4.7%. And if we have a look and see which ones are on top for the month of June, Swiss francs Japanese is actually up there with $204 or 20.4%. Don't forget, these are set up as a $1,000 accounts percentage-wise. US Japanese, also here, a lot of movement on the Japanese currency pairs in the last couple of months, $202 or 20.2%. And then Euro CAD, $159 or 15.9%. Euro USD, $128 or 12.8%. And then Euro Swiss francs, $122 or 12.2%. So overall, again, Very high numbers for just a single month. $814 for the top 5 in here, or 16.3%. So those would definitely have been very, very good to trade. Now we trade all of them, and you can also find that on our website. This is the entire portfolio that we have. We have 20 different EAs in here, and they have now been history-wise trading 317 days in here. Total return is 12%. Monthly return is 1.3, again because it's running on $10,000 accounts. So because previously we wanted to set it up for FTMO. Weekly returns is 0.3, and you can obviously times both those results by 10 if you are going from a $10,000 account down to a 1,000 instead, and entirely up to you regarding your risk strategy, of course. Now you'll find all the individual currency pairs, because some you might not want to trade, some you might think is a bit too risky. Other ones that you find safe, you simply hand pick them out of there, and then you create your own portfolio. You don't necessarily have to do the same as what we do. Now you can find all the numbers in here for the individual weeks. Again, history 317 days in here, and look how stable at the moment the portfolio has become. $394 is what this particular portfolio did for the past week. 398 was the week before, 397, and then 455. So the past 3 weeks pretty much within $5, so every single week. So that is definitely stability. If we have a look at the monthly results also for that entire portfolio here, it is up from last month of May, which was not the best one for the Wave Liberator in here. So there was a lot of EAs that was actually hanging and waiting to cash back in. Some of them here has certainly done it in June. We are still a few short, but it made 1,665, which is pretty good and pretty even Steven with the month of March, as you can see here. So that we take as a good sign of future things to come. We also have to have a look at our RSI Liberator for the week. That one is very strong. We have made some tweaks recently, and you can see some of those here. Aussie USD, $83, 8.3%. Euro Great British Pounds, $67 or 6.7%. Aussie New Zealand, $64 or 6.4%. And then Great British Pounds, Swiss, $57 or 5.7%. And then we have US CAD with $43 or 4.3%. Also here overall, if you had that portfolio of the top 5 EAs, you would have made $313 or 6.3% just in the past week. Obviously, we're going to also have a closer look at the month of June for that particular one. Aussie USD is actually the one on top with $191 or 19.1%. So wow, very good profits overall here on a monthly basis. Great British Pounds CAD, $176 or 17.6%. Great British Pounds Swiss, $142 or 14.2%. And then Euro Swiss francs, $134, 13.4%. And the last but not least, Euro USD, $133 or 13.3%. So very high returns for the month of June here for that RSI Liberator, $777 or 15.5% for the top 5 EAs. Very, very strong results for this one. We can see that what we have done is actually looks to be working quite nicely. The entire portfolio you can find in here again, running on demo accounts, and all the best stuff is actually going on our live, and it's also going onto our PAMM accounts. So the balance for the $220,000 account, so we have made about 5,000 in here, but equity again, we're always trailing a bit behind when it comes to these particular EAs for the first 2, 3, 4 months. And you can see, even though it has the closed profits, the floating profit and loss, we are almost at the same equity as we started, but fear not, things will definitely go in the right direction. Total returns 0.7%, monthly returns 1. Again, this is set up on $10,000 accounts. You can times that 10, so 10%. If you use $1,000 accounts instead, this is also how we actually operate on our PAMM accounts. Weekly return 0.2 or 2% again on a $1,000 account. Trade wins 65.4%, that's pretty good. And history 86 days. you can see this graph also starting to smoothen out as we are getting more profit points overall. And you can find all the individual currency pairs on our website again. As usual, you can go and have a click. Similar to all the other ones, it will take you to the FX Blue line, where you can find more details about profits, drawdowns, the length of trades, everything else is in there for you to have a closer look at. We simply can't go through all of these things in this particular news report. But we can go through the weekly profits in numbers. As we said, history 86 days. And then past week, you can see that our little tweaks have actually done quite well, $608. And it's only surpassed basically back in April here with 687. So even though you could see the Wave Liberator was down, the Trade Explorer was down, the changes that we have actually done on this particular week in here has done extremely well compared to last week, where we were at the bottom of 223. So that was quite disappointing. And this week it's actually popped up. It did extremely well overall. We also need to have a closer look at the monthly results. And also here again, obviously 86 days is the same. But look at the development, 1500, 1600. And now with the latest changes we've done, $1,966 in here. So it is going in the right direction, all of it. Now, all these numbers, all these data, all these graphs, all these currency pairs, all of them lead to these particular videos here. Now, this is for the RSI, but it might as well have been for the Wave Liberator. It is explained in here how exactly these numbers are running and what we are doing, what you can basically get yourself started with. And later on, we will show you a bit more in detail exactly what is happening. So this particular video here will explain it very well on how these PAMM accounts work and basically link it in with the numbers that I've shown you here also today. You can go on our website where you can find the Wave Liberator and the RSI and our PAMM account. And when you click on that, you get a chance to have a closer look and see exactly on how things have been going for the Liberator itself. So the numbers and the setup that we have for the PAMM account in here is 125 days. So it has now been going for more than 4 months. You can see the weekly returns 1.5, monthly returns 6.3. Again, it is a bit of a misleading part with FX Blue because again, it calculates the investors taking the money out as a loss. And as we mentioned many times now, that was actually not true, even though you can see it in here on the 28th of April, minus 16,000. However, since then, things have gone quite well. Last week was 5,600, actually recovered quite well. This week was disappointing because, as we mentioned, some of these Wave Liberator EAs, we were hoping they were going to close and do more trades. They didn't, and that's also why we now have a particular focus on making sure that we can increase the profit for the next month. But 3,058 for the week is still not too bad. However, we also have to have a look at it for the monthly. And when we started back in March, we had 8,000. Then in April, we had 5,600. This is, of course, again, because of the drop that we had in here, because originally it was a lot more. And then last month in May here, we had 17,000 and now we have 18,176. It is a bit on the low side, but better safe than sorry. This is not a get rich quick scheme in here. We are taking certain precautions. If we see something there, we are slowing the process down. The important part is that everybody is actually getting a bit of money every single month. So let's have a look at the MQL5 also. Again, the month of May, we believe that that is a bit wrong. We didn't do 20%, but we do believe that this particular account on the hour calculations is very close to the 6.5% that we also see here. It's a bit below our expected goal, but as we said, better safe than sorry. We'll dial things down if we think that there's something we are not happy with. We increase it if we think the profit is too high. So let's go and have a look at the RSI Liberator, because with the changes we have done, it's doing extremely well. Even though you cannot see it on the FX Blue one again here, weekly returns 1.3, monthly returns 5.5. And then history 76 days overall. Also here, same thing happened again with the investor taking the money out. Looks like a loss. It is not really. And then have a look how our development has been week by week. The past couple of weeks we had 2,000, then last week we had 1,600, and now we're up again this particular week here, even though, as you saw, it was a slow week for some of the other EAs overall, but we made $2,088 for that particular week, so it's still very, very good. And we obviously also have to have a look at the monthly, which actually stands out even more. So the month of April is where the money was removed, which is again not really a minus. Anyway, in May we ended up with 3,000 in plus. We made some adjustments, and we also obviously got a bit more money in on that particular account, and that now meant that we were able to produce $6,677, so very good development on the RSI one. And if we have a look exactly on the MQL5 how that is being calculated, you can see for the month of June it says 13.34%. That is definitely where we want to be, and we believe that that is also a lot better results than these FX Blue results that continue to confuse everybody. You need to look behind the scenes. You need to look week by week to see the money that you had coming in the beginning, what you ended up with, in order to calculate the right results. MQL5 is certainly a lot better at that. So about 13.5% is definitely not too bad. And that's also why we said you combine those particular two RSI and Wave Liberator accounts together for the PAMM, and you actually get more than 24,000 in monthly profit for these particular two PAMM accounts. And we are very, very happy with that results. Obviously, next month we want more. We always want more. There's no doubt about that. But we also need to, again, tell you that we have a free EA. Means that you can actually go in and test with Expert Forex and Alex. You can download the Lucky Trader robot. We have done that already, and as you'll see, there is actually an opportunity here to test it now for quite a few weeks. And obviously Alex has gone over it also. He says he has found more than 400% return in only 5 months. We are not exactly there yet with ours, but we did do a particular video with the Lucky Trader. So this particular video here is one we released last week. The first results are ready. So both the back testing in here and also the different currency pairs. We have 8 at the moment. And we are also now have it on live accounts. So you can see exactly how the development is going. The reason for this is not really a gambling EA, but this is more like a random EA. So that is pretty much 50-50 of when it's going in, when it's not going in. But the rest of the recovery process is very much the same as you have seen on the Profit Retriever, the Wave and RSI, and also the HEA. That's why we have also set up on our website here now the Lucky Trader section. So if you go to our portfolio up here, you'll find obviously all our other EAs. You click here and it will take you over to the Lucky Trader. That will tell you a bit more about everything that is going on in here, and also the testing phase that we are doing. You can follow everything when you scroll down, find the individual currency pairs. It will take you to the FX Blue links, so you can dissect it one by one if that is what you want, to see if you can get similar results as ours, or you simply want to try different ones than what we have tried here. We have everything also gathered up in a portfolio. So these are the first numbers that we have. So again, every single EA is set up on a $10,000 account. So we started off with 80,000. We are now at 82. And you can see closed profits, 2,087. Floating profits is minus $1,004 in here at the moment. And then you can have a look also to see total returns, 1.5. Monthly returns is calculated 7.4% at the moment. Weekly returns 1.7, and then trade wins is actually quite high here, 73.6%. So it's doing quite well, especially for a random entry EA. Definitely very good. History is only 13 days, as I mentioned here before at the moment, and you can see all the currency pairs that we are testing. We also have our portfolio where you can go and have a look at the individual accounts. And if you have a look at the balance, you'll see at every single one, is actually in positive, so be the 82,000. There was one last week, now there's actually two, where the equity is a bit low due to the floating profit and loss in here. So that just changed shortly before we shot this particular video here. We do have one account that doesn't do so well at the moment. It's actually this particular one in here, but we are making some changes for this, and then hopefully it'll do a lot better next week. And Alex also made one video this week from Expert Forex about the 45 plus successful Forex accounts. And this has also to do with the Lucky Trader, where you can go and help us test and download this particular one today and do individual testings. And also you can get yourself ready for when you can buy this particular EA. So there's plenty of opportunities to get in on this at a very early stage before it will be commercially available. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, there was plenty of numbers, there was plenty of updates. I'm happy that you actually made it all the way through to the end of this video. We know there's many numbers in here, but this is all done for you. So we can test all the different EAs. We can show you the profits every single week, every single month, so you don't have to go through all this testing again. We can tell you this is what's working, this is what's not. And obviously you can also sit back if you're not part of the trading community itself and saying, hey, I just want to be in on the PAMM accounts. I don't want to know nothing about trading. Somebody else can take care of that, which is the money managers that are dealing with all these ones day by day and testing all the things behind the scenes. So there's plenty of opportunities as usual, as you can see, with what we are involved in. So please make sure you give us a comment, a like, and also would like to see maybe some other things in the future. We will be happy to do a video on any of those if we have to go into a bit more detail that we cannot cover always in these particular news reports. Otherwise, you can go and find more details on our website. So until my next video, see you around. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.